The one thing I was trained to do is to always do a statement of credibility when you're presenting something, right? So basically be like, here's why people should listen to you. So what's up, guys? I'm Hydra. You guys see my face. I'm not AI generated like some content creators have been using. I'm a content creator. I put a great deal of effort into my content. I try to be educational. Rexy, exactly. I try to be educational for people that are learning the game. I always advertise my streams to be new player friendly. Ask questions if you want them. Stepped away from the competitive scene for a very, very long time. Played Halo, Call of Duty. I got back into it because I got paid to play the game for a scholarship for Marshall University. In fact, one second. I was so good at it, they framed my jersey for me. So here's my actual collegiate jersey that is in a frame. 1 second. So I played collegiate for a minute. Brought my school some championships, which was really dope. And then obviously I played more comp further from there. Did SOC for a long time. For a minute before OSL. Did AGL, obviously won AGL. So I've been around the competitive scene enough, for sure. But I'm also a solo queue support player. I don't duo queue with anybody, as you're going to be seeing from games like this. I just graduated with my master's degree. 1 second. So when I say that I am an educated, longtime member of the Smite community, I mean that. I genuinely mean this, right? So the things I'm going to say are not put out just randomly. I'm not just some plat shitter who heard a stream and wanted to have an opinion on this. So we're going to tackle this from two perspectives first. The way auto speed plays is not fun, is my first point today. Okay? The way auto speed plays is not fun to play against, and it's not fun to play with, right? If I have to play against this as a solo queue support player, it is very unfun. If I'm tired, it's the end of the day or whatever. Let's say I'm busy, this is not unrealistic, by the way. I can still be good at the game and still be tired and not want to hop in comms, right? That's not a rare sentiment to have, right? I don't want to have to hop in comms during every single game, especially not like this, and have to macro the map and have to macro 4 other players. That's literally just not what I want to have to do. I don't find it fun to play against this. So if I'm getting on for the night, right? Let's say I'm about to go live, I'm about to hit my stream, and I see in here, again, like, I'm going to bring up receipts every single time, right? If I see auto-speed, oh, look, he's live right now, right? You have a problem? True. Look at what he's doing, bro.
That's one less EC for me.
Like, thanks for proving my point for me, by the way.
That's someone's sword, not mine.
Okay, anyway, so this wasn't the point. We're actually gonna watch his gameplay, right? We're gonna kind of scroll down a little bit. I follow his stream, so I know when he's getting on, so I know when to miss a queue, right? I don't want to be playing into what we just saw. I don't like playing into that. I don't think that's really fun. I don't think that's really engaging by any metric at all. And so if I'm going to play 2 or 3 queues, I don't want to have to play against that. I will miss a queue if auto speed is in the queue. We trying to queue later? 100%. I'm down. It sounds fun. Anyway, what we just tuned in, that's not fun to play against. At a high level, that's not fun to play against, not fun to macro against. But you guys might be wondering, wait, that's not auto speed. This says it's not auto speed, right? The dude has been smurfing since yesterday, day before-ish. Here's the thing, right? I've always been a fan of the idea of having uncapped MMR, uncapped SR, whatever you want to call it, right? Because if you cap, let's say, and again here, like, I'm just going to hit the home button, right? Let's say the cap is 8K, right? Let's say the cap is 8K, then this will incentivize autospeed to make a smurf and get another account into deity or, demigod or anything, like whatever, right? Having capped SR is bad for the game's health, right? Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? Since there's no cap, him being able to get into games with, like, we'll use this as an example, right? I picked a random game, by the way. Auto speed versus Bong Rip Eric. No shade to Bong Rip Eric, right? Car versus Chimpasaur. Right? This queue shouldn't physically be able to happen. Everyone's defense to this is it's late at night. There's not a lot of players in the queue. So what do you want to happen, right? Like they probably waited for this game for 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes. Do you just want them to not be able to get a game? Yes. Yes, that should be the case. If this is the only match that we can physically make, we shouldn't be making it. If this is the only quality of match that can be made at 3:25 a.m., we shouldn't be making matches like this. Now, maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's a hot take. Everyone says some games are better than none. I completely refuse, right? And here's my thing. If let's say I'm going to use an analogy here. We're going to use some analogies to make this a little bit easier to understand my point of view, right? I agree it makes new players and bad players suffer a lot more, 100%, right? So let's say I'm hungry, right? And I could either skip a meal, right? It's late at night. You know, there's not a lot of fresh food in my place, right? Maybe I don't feel like cooking, right? I don't want to take the time to cook, right? But I find a loaf of moldy bread. Would it be better for me to eat the moldy bread or to simply wait until the morning when I have more energy to cook breakfast? I'd rather cook breakfast, right? This queue is the moldy bread. And here's the thing. He only gets 28 SR for this, right? 28 SR against Bed by Sunrise, Chimpasaur not relating, right? He's getting 30 SR against Globe, John Rowing. So here's the thing, right? He's getting 2 less SR for beating Demonic Gravitide than he is for beating Globe, Orbit, John Rowing, Awakening Garo. Like this is a much more competitive queue, right? Much more competitive queue. The difference between these two queues is 2 SR. We have 3 plat people in here. And he's getting 2 less SR than queuing against Masters, Demigod, deity level players. And by the way, these aren't just nobodies. This is fucking Globe. He had a whole food drive dedicated to him. Nigga went to Vegas. Like, come on, bro. Like, what I'm saying is that the quality of players diminishes greatly, but the SR returns don't. The games give him comparably the same SR. Exactly, right? So, problem number 2 I have with the whole autospeed situation is that the variance in player swings wildly, but the variance in SR doesn't. The variance in SR is not swinging. Now, do I think he should be able to get a game in the first place? No. That's my personal thought, right? But if you want to rock with the idea that everyone should be able to get a game, he shouldn't be getting SR for this, right? Autospeed shouldn't be getting 30 SR from any of these wins. He's up 3k SR on Globe and company as well. Oh, 100%, right? And this is not a thing like, here, I clicked the wrong game. I don't think Autospeed is a better player than Globe, right? Like, and that's my opinion, right? And I'm allowed to have an opinion, right? I can think one player is better than another, right? I think 1-to-1, I think Globe is better, right? However, by the rating of the game, Autospeed is God King compared to Globe in this queue, right? This isn't a hot take. Okay, so we queue from late night. We're just gonna say we're queuing on from this example. My bad. From this example, we're queuing from midnight. Wait, I fucked it up. My brain stopped. Anyway, from midnight to 10 a.m., right? But he actually dodges the other top level duo queues, like he refuses to queue. Yeah, 100%. We're not talking about that yet. We're taking the step by step, right? We're going point to point. At least 2 days ago. So this isn't like a crazy long time ago. 2 days ago, they were queuing from midnight to 10 a.m. Right? They got into a good queue here. Lost it. We cannot be losing SR to Tactical, by the way. Bro, come on, Autospeed. I'm disappointed in you. Guys, people that defended Autospeed said, guys, he can't queue at normal hours. Maybe he works day shift. He has to queue late night hours. It's not his fault. So our argument that we brought up earlier was that the variance of the queues was too great, but the variance in SR wasn't great enough, right? So someone said, do we think it's fair to punish somebody who's so great like Autospeed by only being able to get 5 SR a game if he gets a really shitty queue, right? Do we think it's fair if he can only gain 1, 2, 3 SR, but he can lose 100 when he can only queue at that time? Well, chat, he proved that point false, as he's currently doing. By the way, he is live right now. This is not a VOD. This is not live gameplay. He is proving it false that he can't queue during normal hours. Do we know why? Do we know how he's not proving that false? Because he's playing on a smurf. He is playing on a smurf. He's playing on a smurf during normal queue times. Again, like, noon, right? 5 p.m., right? The queues that people are accusing him of dodging, right? Right, 7 p.m., right? He's able, obviously, at the drop of a hat a day later after these accusations, come out. He's able to queue at normal hours as well as his demon hours. From 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. Did he queue for 24 hours? God, chat. I'm not. This isn't even made up. This isn't even like from 3:41 a.m. to 7:09 p.m. He queued fucking Smite game. Did he eat? Did he ever take a shit? Bro, I don't know if you guys ever saw Battlefield Friends where they had like the whole shit bucket joke. And like they had like this level 100 colonel, he had a bipod on his knife. The guy never left his setup. Are we sure he didn't swap accounts after he got on the Smurf? Here's the thing. Did he? Let's check. Guys, he got on for a single game yesterday. So from 7 p.m., he did something, and then at midnight, he got on. Then at midnight, he got on his main account. He duo queued with Carr. He lost that shit. But you know what's actually crazy? You know what's crazy? Here's the thing. He took that nap, right? Nah, bro. He lost that queue. Got right back on the Smurf. This is 22 hours of Smite. Does he think being number 1 SR would generate him something? He needs to generate some hoes, man. Like, this is crazy. We've all been there. Like, in high school and college, we would do nothing. We play games all day. It is what it is. My point to this isn't to make fun of him for being unemployed. Is it worth it for you to lose 100 SR in a single game when you can get 30 from shitting on plat kids? No. This is not me defending auto speed. I still think this is loser fucking behavior, by the way. So don't get this twisted, right? I'm saying, can we understand why he does it? Yes. Does it make it okay? No. And I've went on record saying this, right? I've seen auto speed play comp. He's not bad at the game. People like to say that he needs to play the game like this to win. That is not true, right? That is not true. But him being good and still choosing to play like this is fucking weird. You can disagree with me. He should not be getting, if he wants to get 30 SR for a game like this, that's whatever, right? You should be getting 5, 10, 6 for a game like that. Like where there are plat and diamond players in this, that's not okay, right? The number 1 and number 2 player on the leaderboard, being Carr and Autospeed, will never be put against each other, right? If let's say they didn't know each other, let's say they were just competing, they were racing to the top, the matchmaking system would always 100% put these two on opposite teams. If they're both in the queue, matchmaking would balance these two out by putting number 1 player on order side, putting number 2 player on chaos side. I don't think above 5 KSR you should be able to duo queue, right? I at least in my opinion, I think that's dog shit. I think that's horse shit, right? Why should you be able to duo queue in a system like this? At least in my opinion, right? Like in an uncapped SR system, why are we allowing duo queue if we're like if we're like making the top 50 competitive, you want to keep knocking each other out? I don't think duo queue is healthy for this, right? Right? There is nothing stop. If you're deity, you shouldn't duo queue. Duo queuing should exist, just not in the current matchmaking environment. No, I'm saying duo queuing is fine, right? Up until a certain point. The same arguments for trio queue, right? I think trio queue is healthy for low ranked experience, right? I think getting people into the game, playing with their friends, playing ranked, that's whatever. I don't think trio queue is bad below a certain SR range, right? Now, trio queuing up to Masters is fucking stupid. And that's why they removed it, right? They need to make it a limit like trio queue 100%, right? And I think that limit should be 5K. I just need to know how much Otto sleeps. He might be a machine. We already proved on stream he queued Smite for 22 hours straight by looking at his tracker. He might not need sleep. Bro is actual AI, yeah, 100%, right? So realistically, if you implement 5K SR, like 5K SR no duo queue, that changes nothing for... Here, wait. One sec. That literally would affect... That would affect less than 69 people. Nice, right? If we implement that change, we are affecting less than 100 people with that change, which in my opinion is good. It literally just makes the top end way more competitive. This wouldn't negatively impact the majority of the community if they gated 5K SR, you can't duo queue. Because guys, let's be honest, most of the community, they're never gonna see 5K SR. A good portion of the community is at 500 SR. It is what it is. So I have friends that play Smite. I have friends that they'll tune in, that watch my stream, that watch my videos, and they're like, hey man, like that was really funny. Can you do like a silly like split push Donza game or something and like just stream it or whatever, right? So I have a very casual friend group that also enjoys Smite. He just got his account to be a high enough level to play ranked. He was in a trio queue, and they said, we've never played ranked before in Smite, ever, by the way. They never did in Smite 1 because they were afraid. They were afraid to get shit on. They didn't think it would be fun. But trio queue, because they were able to queue with the same group that they played Joust with in lower level ranked. It was a good enough thought to where they said, let's try it. They do play Conquest, they play casual, they casual 5-stacked for years, right? They also played Joust. They didn't like that you could only 2-man queue in Smite 1. They wanted to try out queuing in Smite 2. They tried a trio queue. It was their very first game. Playing ranked. Do you guys want to take a guess at what happened yesterday? Because they told me this yesterday. I was streaming yesterday. I didn't know this. I checked the group chat yesterday. We all got food yesterday. We talked about it. He showed me the game. Do you guys want to take a guess at what happened? Do you want to take a guess at who they queued into? They queued into the rank 1 and rank 2 player in the entire game. The rank 2 player was playing Aladdin. They didn't ban Aladdin because they said nobody at this rank knows how to play it. They got packed up on their mains. No, they got packed up by, I quote, not auto speed and domain expansion. Not auto speed and domain expansion. You know what they told me? They said we are never playing ranked again. If that's how it usually is, right? What I will say is that definitely impacted the new player experience. I think smurfing is bad anyway. I do think the rank system disincentivizes you from doing it. Wait, is this another account? Wait. There's a third Smurf? What? He has a third account. I know domain expansion is car, by the way. Like that I already know. That's car. I'll out that at 100%. He has 3 as far as I know. We're operating in the framework of fact here, guys. So we can at least back up the VOD. We can prove that he has at least 3 accounts. Wait. This is the account he's playing on right now. This is what he's streaming right now. So we can at least confirm that this is one of his accounts. They're just smurfing and beating up plat kids? Why? My thing is, this is actual loser shit. I mean, that's definitely my opinion for sure, right? I think smurfing ruins the game for newer players. I think smurfing is bad for the new player experience. I don't think it should be allowed. As someone that actively had Smurfs in Smite 1, reverse Grandmaster, shout out by the way, negative 500 SR. And that shit did get banned for griefing queues, which it was definitely deserved, right? But I don't know. Like, there are very few reasons you can air quotes justify having a Smurf. I'll say I had a Smurf because in Smite 1, I played on my Hydra account, obviously. And literally every time I would stream, my shit would get griefed. Or I'd have like a racial slur get said at me, or like just some random fucking shit, right? And if I could play on my fucking capped account, like on my Smurf in Smite 1, and it would be fine. It would literally be okay, right? Just ban the Smurfs. They just make new ones, bro. It's not that simple. Yeah. Is why, if we are the number one ranked player in a system where that should be incentivizing you to where there's no cap to your grind, you should always be having to work, to keep your number one spot. Why are we afforded the luxury of making not just one, but two Smurf accounts? To me, that means the system is flawed, right? But I don't think anybody here, anybody in chat, right? And here's the thing: you can watch Autospeed, you can like Autospeed. I'm not saying I dislike them as people for playing like this. I think when Weekend said that was fucking crazy. I don't know these people, right? I've had people I've teamed with, and I would actively never team with them again. And they've made my comp experience very, very unenjoyable. And I don't dislike them as people. You know what I mean? I don't mind split pushing because it is what it is, but the smurfing is actually crazy to me. Listen. This entire stream, right? I have not harped on the split push playstyle at all, right? Do I think it's cringe? 100%. Only thing I'll say about the playstyle is that it is not fun to play against. That's why I don't like playing against it, right? The only time you're ever going to see me in an autospeed queue is if I didn't know he was online streaming. And then I'll beat it. And then I'll get the fuck off, or I'll wait for him to get into a game because I don't want to play against that. I only have time to play 2 to 3, maybe 4 ranked games. Like my streams are at max, like what, 1, 2, 3 hours? Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I dodge every auto speak queue. I do too. I don't want my 3 ranked games every couple of days. I don't want even a one of them to be against split pushing craziness when I have to macro 4 other players from the support role. At least, again, my take's all from support, right? If you're a jungler doing it, you can have to think, I just gotta play better than him. I just gotta hard carry the lobby. If I'm a support player and I'm locking in fucking Khepri, how do I beat that? The only counter I have in my toolbox is to macro 4 other players and say, guys, we have to stand at fucking Gold Fury at the 5-minute mark. I know it's weird. I know it's bad. I know our side camps are up. We could be farming here. He's gonna rip it on cooldown. We have to be on fire at the 15-minute mark because he'll just burn it with Nagas. My solutions for this are increase diminishing returns on SR gain. I don't think that's a crazy take, right? If I don't think the Q should be able to pop at 3:45 a.m. and him get plat teammates, right? However, if you want to say everyone deserves a game, sure, right? However, Autospeed should not be getting the same amount of SR for a plat, diamond, obsidian queue as he is for getting a masters demigod queue. Point number 2, he can queue at real hours and stuff like that, 100% boom, right? Point number 3, duo queuing above 5k SR makes the top end of ranked way too inconsistent. Car and Autospeed are a shiny example of how you can abuse that system. If they weren't able to queue together, they'd be against each other 100% of the time. Now, would they dodge each other's queues because they know each other? Oh yeah, 100%. That way, each one of them could get into a better game. They wouldn't have to always verse each other, so they could always each be climbing. But that's a person to person choice. You can't stop that, right? What you can stop is making number 1, number 2 on the same team all the time, right? I don't think the number 1, number 2 player should ever be able to be on the same team. That should never be possible unless it's number 1, number 2, and then number 9 and number 10, and you have number 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But then that's a stacked lobby. That's a good queue. So I think, at least my opinion on it, I have nothing against Autospeed as a person. I respect his grind. I think he's W grind on the content creator front, whatever. Like, he puts in a lot of hours to Smite. I do respect that 100%. Do I agree with the way he plays? No, that shit's ass. That shit is cringe as fuck. I would never play it, right? He's not gonna beat me doing it. The fuck? But like, I'm not gonna say he's a horrible person for doing it, right? Because matter of fact is, he's proving that this is just the best way to get SR in the game. Statistically speaking, he's the best player in ranked, right? So he's proving that this shit works. 9 times out of 10, you can play like this and you'll win your games, right? Do I think at a fundamental gameplay level, do I think this should be addressed? Yes. but Smite has bigger fish to fry right now than what we're watching. But that's my take on it. I don't hate them as people. I don't know them as people. I can't hate somebody I don't fucking know, right? And I also think, just general rule of thumb, right, from a psychologist standpoint, educated, by the way. Come kiss my one with me? Oh, shit. Right. Having hate in your heart is not a good way to live your life. Just fucking forget people exist, and that's way healthier for you, genuinely, right? If you hate people over a video game, seek help. So, I again, shout out. If you guys genuinely have hatred in your heart for like auto speed and car over what they're doing, if you genuinely hate them as people, hit my DMs. I'll get you the help you need. I can legitimately get you therapy.